So now let's get into is My Hero on its way to being a classic must-watch show?
You want to take this one first for me?
I can do it. Yeah.
Okay, because I wanna say this one for last.
First, I want to ask you, what makes a classic show? What makes a must-watch show? Because we kind of
it never slows down. Well, I mean, even if it does slow down, it picks up again with something crazy.
Yeah, and like well-written characters, right? Well-written villains.
Mm-hmm. Great development with, most importantly, MC, and then like a few side characters.
And since it's kind of like a fighting show, good fights, right? Which we don't really have yet.
Not yet. Like the only one is like Todoroki Deku, All Might versus All for One, and then some people really like the Stain fight, and then All Might versus the Gnome. But that's on some people's. I'm just
even everything. The Deku muscular fight was okay.
That fight, okay, I forgot to touch on that.
It was okay.
I forgot to touch on that because another problem is Deku's kind of getting to the point where he's too OP. Specifically that fight, because I rewatched it the other day. My man's right before he gets to the point where he's on his back and he has to push him up again because the kid shoots water on him. Before then, the kid states, "Both of your arms are broken. Like, we are fucked." And then all of a sudden, Deku gets this crazy adrenaline rush where he has function in his arms again to be able to push him back upright from laying on his back on the ground. Then he's able to hold him, load up a punch, like 1,000,000%, and
drop the fattest punch
of all time
with a broken arm, and then he's fine.
Well, he wasn't fine.
Well, he's not fine, but he just heals up like nothing happened.
But then he goes and gets his arms healed. Like, specifically from that point, if you're like, how? I feel like that's the most broken thing to almost happen to any MC. Because right before they stayed, both of his arms are broken. They're just hanging, they're just dangling down his arms, and he can kind of move them.
Yeah.
But then right after, he does that crazy shit. Like, explain.
Yeah, it's kind of like
that was just
that's an ass pull.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but that was the thing that I forgot to touch on.
No, that's an ass pull.
Yeah.
But so I think it's possible to get to a classic. Okay. I think it's possible.
Okay.
But there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Deku needs to work on releasing his full potential and being actually able to use One for All efficiently and not cop out shit like that. The villains need to step their game up, like we said, and be more like Stain. They need to make more issues happen that aren't just between classmates or like between the school or whatever, right? They need to make bigger issues that matter. So the end of season 2, when the guy with the hand on his face comes up to Deku, okay, make something happen out of that. Then, make shit happen, hit the fan, then you got us reeled in. We're not really reeled in yet. But like I said, the rumors of this next season, the villain's supposed to be crazy. The top 3 heroes at the school are nutty. Especially the number 1 guy. Phase 2 shit. So, with that in mind, maybe this next season can be good. Because if the next villain is crazy and they're bringing in like the most OP students, maybe something's gonna go down. If something goes down this next season, I think we'll be cooking with oil now. I think we'll have something that will give us the fights and the action that we want, that isn't just between classmates and schools.
And no, you finish.
And I kind of liked your idea of bringing in students. That would be something cool. Like if
graduating students turned evil, if they were like, oh,
or even just double agents. They're in the League of Villains, but they're also at the school. Like
that. Like there's so many things I feel like you can just think of as a writer or creator for the show as like how to make the League of Villains so much stronger than what they are right now, from what we've seen.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, here's an example: Assassination Classroom. What's the teacher's name?
Kuro Sensei.
Yeah, so Kuro. Remember when he has like his brother with like the white hair? Is it white? And he has a kid from the class lure them to a trap. Okay, do something like that in My Hero. It'd be sick. Add tension. Add the action that we want. That's all I'm saying. That's like the biggest thing, and I keep saying it over and over again. I feel like a broken record, but like, just make stuff happen that draws our attention in. Because like, yeah, the Bakugo Deku fight, cool. Oh, the tournament, Todoroki Bakugo, cool. But I don't want to see students fighting each other all the time.
Like, even though like the show is the origin story of Midoriya, and we're supposed to see him as a student, like it makes sense that there is going to be the classroom student versus student fight, but there's already been 3 arcs of that now.
Yeah. Hell, even Naruto is in the classroom
And you get shooting exams.
In Naruto, just in general. But they're fighting Zabuza. They're fighting Orochimaru. They're fighting Gaara. They're fighting all the sound ninjas to go save Sasuke. Naruto fights Sasuke. Kimimaru. There's still a lot of stuff happening, and they're in the classroom setting a good amount of the time.
Yeah.
Tuning exams too. Okay, just give us something like that and show us the main heroes, and we'll be happy.
Right.
That's what I think. That's what I think it would take to make it a classic.
I think it would definitely make it on its way there, but I would at least need constant sort of hype behind it to really, or a hype with, not just hype alone, just constant, like, A+ minimum tier seasons, like the last 3 seasons of Shippuden.
Yeah.
Actually, not even that. After
the first arc.
Yeah.
Of Shippuden.
Honestly, like to be super critical, you can say after the fight with Orochimaru. Ever since then, it never slows down.
But even then, like the Akatsuki are introduced like a couple episodes into Shippuden. Like they're obviously you already know of them, but they show them doing shit.
Yeah, they're about that.
Like
action.
that presence is already there. Like the first arc is the Gaara arc, isn't it? So it's like off the bat they're already giving us crazy shit. So question I have for you is, do you think though that the fact that we already have 3 seasons and nothing crazy's happened, do you think it's already too far gone for it to be a classic? Like, do you think having to make somebody watch My Hero and wait 3 seasons for the real meat of the show, do you think that's too much for it to already be counted out as a classic?
I don't know if this is the real meat of the show. This is supposed to be the origin story. So if they do this and then there's this time skip like Shippuden, or if there's like, okay, this is the origin, and then we're going to jump to him as an adult, and then we're going to follow this story as him as an adult, that might be the absolute craziness, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't think it's fair to say that it's already too far gone to be classic, but it definitely is concerning. Yeah.
It's a classic starting anime. I can agree with that. It might not be necessarily a classic, but it could be a decent starter. Because it's not a lot of fan service. There's not a lot of crazy. Because like that's like the one thing I try to look out for when telling somebody to watch a show is the fan service. Because that's like the weird shit. You don't want to get somebody just straight into like Bakemonogatari or Nisei Monogatari, where it's like people trying to bang their sister and stuff. So it could be a good starting anime, but I don't know about a classic.
Right.
But because do you have anything else on your list?
So the point that I thought would really kind of bring, like, really lengthen this conversation that was super interesting that I realized was it's kind of following the same script as Naruto. So at the start, you have the relationship with Naruto and Iruka, Deku and All Might, and then you have Naruto finding his ninja way against Zabuza and Haku, and then that was Deku and him punching the giant robot worth 0. Yeah. Because he's like, okay, like, this is worth 0, but I have to save this person's life because I want to be a hero. And then it goes in the tuning exams, turning tournament arc in My Hero Academia, and then Orochimaru invasion, forced invasion. Okay. So it's serious. Not even the forced invasion. It's the invasion when they're like in the
the dome.
Yeah, they're in the dome.
And then the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's following the same-ish story. But do you think it still is falling short than Naruto?
But do you think that's just like the stencil for shonen stuff in a way?
Not for Hunter x Hunter. Or Bleach.
Or Demon Slayer.
But
what about like the mainstream ones then? But I guess Bleach is one.
Not Dragon Ball.
That's true.
What's another mainstream?
But okay, show? How about the stencil for shonens that focus around students?
Okay.
Because there's not a lot.
What you got? Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho.
My Hero. Well,
Okay,
but
but
I mean,
tournament,
like,
but tournament arcs.
I mean, focusing specifically around the school. So they're like students. So like Naruto, they're ninja students at the academy. My Hero, they're students at the academy. But then again, or is it just like a carbon copy of Naruto, just with quirks and modern society, rather than that's like the stencil for shonen?
I definitely think that it's following the same story, but it's not a carbon copy. I would say it's a carbon copy if Bakugo left to be a villain.
And if like Deku, instead of getting like one for all, he got like some sort of demon power in him or something.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a quirk.
Yeah,
definitely.
But then again, like even Shield Hero, the like demon in him, the dragon demon, that's like Kurama in Naruto though.
Yeah.
So like even Shield, like a lot of shows kind of take from Naruto, but this is like, I never thought about that. That's like a good amount of plot.
That's a good amount of things where it's following along, but yet it's still falling short because of perhaps arguably character development, the fights, because like the Nomu were introduced as these badass, like almost practically indestructible tools that the League of Villains have. All Might comes in claps, and then they're introduced again in season 3.
Yeah.
Because they have like the Nomu factory.
Mm-hmm. And they just destroy it real quick.
And then they destroy it real quick. But there's a lot of things where I feel like it's falling short because of the same problems that we're realizing, where it's because lack of power with the villains. And then, actually, just now thinking of it, so like the graduating high school students, because has it already been a year since they've been in school?
I think so.
So then nothing sort of changes necessarily, like with like even like in the news or the world with how many villains there are or anything else like that. I feel like they're really just ignoring the potential with these villains.
Oh, they are, for sure.
So much.
Like, the only way it would be worth it is they're doing it on purpose, so when they do show them, they're insane.
Yeah.
Like, they're hyping them up.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a feeling they're not going to do that. I have a feeling it's just going to be like, all for one, hit the clap real quick, couple episodes, wrap it up, done.
Mm-hmm. Because now, with this new villain, I feel like, because All Might's in this weaker state where he can't, even fight anymore, it's going to force him into a position where he can't win.
Yeah. So
and
maybe
he's
that'll
either
make,
going to die or something.
Maybe that'll make Deku step up, though.
Maybe. But like the thing is with his quirk, though, is that it takes time for his body to get used to it. And it's just, it sucks how slow it's taking in the show. But then we would be complaining about how OP his quirk is, and then all of a sudden he's mastered it just instantly.
Yeah, that's true.
It's super fast. I definitely think that it could be a little bit faster because he's using it every day. Like, he's practicing with it every day.
And he knows how to control the power now, too. So he should be able to, like, scale it up a little bit. So maybe next season there will be more development because All Might is not there to save his ass. But then we have, like, Gran Torino who can help him out.
Yeah.
Or, other people. So he still has, like, a crutch, though, in a way.
Yeah.
And he has Bakugo and Todoroki and all the people in Class 1A who are there will help protect him, too. So it's like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
But I feel like on the horizon there might be some good Deku character development.
I hope so. Because after 3 seasons, you should definitely have a lot more character development than what you're at right now.
Oh, I agree.
So that's definitely 100% concerning to me. So hopefully, like, within this next few seasons, I'd say at least 2 more seasons, if they don't like step it up. Actually, no. By the end of this season, by the end of this next season,
something has to go down. That is big.
Which I mean, it most likely is because of how much hype this next season is supposed to be.
Especially with the new villain.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to put it up there for a contender. But right now, as whether or not it's going to be a must-watch classic, even after this season 4,
I think just the fact that 3 seasons, it's taking at least a minimum of 3 seasons to go crazy. I feel like it's already makes it not a contender.
Attack on Titan did it in like arguably 1.5.
I mean, Hunter x Hunter brought that shit in quick too.
Yeah.
And it's long.
Mm-hmm.
Parasite brought it in an episode. Like, what's a good example? What's like a
Like on the same level of
like a couple seasons, 60 or so episodes. Like, I can't think of any examples that are like the same length. But even then, long animes like Hunter x Hunter or like Bleach even, or shows like that, like they bring in the issue pretty quick. Fullmetal Alchemist is a good example. It's kind of similar. They bring the issue in within the first couple episodes. Even so it's like it's taking so long for the story to get where it needs to go, and I think 3 seasons is too long.
Yeah.
Because especially since season 2 and season 3 were like 20 episodes, weren't they?
20 plus.
Where
I think they were 25.
So
actually.
season 1 was like 10 or 12,
Yeah,
so
10 or 12.
like 60 episodes maybe out, and it's still not like the main issue that the show is supposed to be about. It's still not there yet.
And like back again to that point where I said earlier, like way too soon to introduce All for One.
The biggest villain of all villains.
Like he's like the ultimate counter to One for All, and you bring him in right now.
Hopefully Deku has to fight him.
I hope so too.
But who knows? Because he's in captivity and he doesn't really seem like he wants to fight anymore. So there's... I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's possible, but just the fact that 60 episodes in, it's not where it needs to be. As of now, I'm going to say no, it's not possible to make it a classic. But like I said, it could be a starter anime.
I think it's definitely earned the rank of starter anime because of how easy it is to watch, easy story to follow along. It's interesting, and I don't know. I mean, actually, what you were saying earlier about how like 60 episodes in, like, and they were able to bring in crazy shit. Naruto did that, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because Orochimaru invading the village, that shit was crazy. The third Hokage fight with Orochimaru, that shit was crazy.
Dude, the Zabuza fight was crazy.
That
arc was long, too.
Yeah.
Like, Haku is nuts. Zabuza is nuts. We get to see Kakashi fight, so we get to see the hero fight as well. We get to see what Kakashi's made of. I mean, we get to see that all through Naruto. Kakashi, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Orochimaru. We get to see so many villains and teachers fight. Okay, do that with if they're copying the format already, just shove
it's all like I
I
pointed out how it's already so much similar.
Yeah, just shove those heroes out there, right?
It's like there's so many I feel like I should not be able to point out all this stuff and be like, okay, you could have done this and this better. Like it's bad. Like I know it's wrong for me to criticize it so much, but when you're picking apart this and like it's for how weak the villains are, like you really couldn't think of anything better.
Yeah,
really.
I agree. Like just storyboard it better, or just like. But then, I don't know. Maybe they just want to milk it, and then they're gonna like drop a huge bomb with this next season.
I hope so.
And it's like 60 episodes of hype. Yeah. If it's 60 episodes of hype and it's worth it, then okay, maybe I might change my mind. But right now, not a classic. It won't be a classic, but it can be a starter.
Yeah. This next season really needs to prove.
Just make it or break it.
Make it or break it 100%. Because Naruto was able to do it within this amount of time frame for how much that they're copying so much like it.
Dude,
like the premise behind it. Not saying it's carbon copy,
dude.
Trigger people, but
this amount of episodes, Hunter x Hunter has been already through like almost 2 arcs that are crazy. Like,
exactly.
Come on, pick up the pace.
Yeah, like it's like I'm sure like people will say like devil's advocate. It's interesting to see the class develop rather than like to see the class kind of get better with their quirks. Yeah. Rather than strictly the things that we saw in Naruto, Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. But my counter to that would be then don't hype up the villains, right? So, okay, yeah, it's cool to see them develop, fight each other, get stronger, get their own style, their special attacks and names and costumes. But you can do that in a season and a half if you really wanted to. Don't hype up the villains that much. Yeah, like if that. You're not going to show them. Yeah. Don't make it really about villains in the first place until you're ready for the villains. I think that honestly would have, if they didn't even really introduce the villains that much, then I think it would be fine where it's at. because they're not hyping up the villains. But 60 episodes in, and we still haven't really seen what the League of Villains is wanting to do or trying to do.
Like, I feel like My Hero Season 1 would have gotten like, it already had a bunch of hype, but the hype that would have made it worthy or, like, deserve that amount of hype is if, like, they invade them in the dome with other kids or something, and then they're like, okay, we came here to test out our kids against yours.
Yeah.
Or like if almost like the world was almost in this clash with evil because 50% of the whole world has quirks. So you're telling me that because they're able to successfully build up this hero association, that it's just going to be an all out beat down. Especially with a guy like All For One out there. Like, really?
So what if... So, with the Monster Association and One Punch Man Season 2, how they're like OP and they're whipping everybody. What if they did that with My Hero?
I
With
hope
the League
so.
of Villains. That would be sweet, right?
That would be sweet.
I think that's what I'm kind of expecting. Or what I want. Right?
Because
that's
we
a good
only
example.
because we still have like a small world setting almost.
Yeah. Because that way, we got to see a lot of the top S-class heroes fight in One Punch Man Season 2. And we got to see them like all get clapped. So, okay, show us the strong villains and then show us the main heroes fighting. That, like, knocks off a bunch of points on our list.
Like, I wish, like, it would have made it a lot better if, like, we saw a meeting with the League of Villains. Or, like, when they would talk to All For One, and, like, through, like, the TV or whatever,
Yeah.
and, like, or they somehow mention, like, you're one of, like, the weakest branches of the League, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, like, if they bring up, like, okay, like, the class is struggling against them, or All Might was struggling against one of the Nomu, and there's a whole other world of villains out there.
Yeah. Kind of like how Gogetsu does that in One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Where he's like, don't get cocky. We're a dragon level threat, but there's people way stronger than us.
Exactly.
Yeah. That would be sweet.
That'd be sweet because then that hypes up the future. It makes it more. It's also understandable, but that these weaker villains are messing around with this class of heroes because they're trying to break down the monster, or not the monster, but the Hero Association bottom up.
Yeah.
Like that.
I agree.
Sounds like the perfect sort of way to introduce the show.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, it's like they have one foot in and out of the door. Because, yeah, they are hyping up the villains, but they aren't hyping them up, like, a lot.
They're hyping them up, but they're not delivering.
Yeah, they're hyping them up, but they're not delivering by giving us more details and by showing them. But they're also kind of, like, not hyping them up either by not doing stuff like you're talking about. Say they're not strong, that they're not that strong yet, but show that they're, like, clapping cheeks or something like that, where, like, you can still hype them up a little bit with the amount that they're already hyping them up, but it still shows more of a threat.
Because they go into the background of the guy with the mask, the whatever hand over his face.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, All For One went out and recruited him. And then now that guy went out and made his own branch.
Yeah.
Or whatever. He made the League of Villains. And then All For One's the head. How come we can't see something where, like, okay, All For One also did that for a bunch of other people, and then they create their own things, and they're messing around all these other places around the world, but then...
And it's like a huge association.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that comes easier to when you're writing up the story than what we have right now.
I agree.
Because I feel like for the process, I'm sure, of how long it took to come up with the story, no one mentioned that, like, maybe there should be a whole lot more. Maybe you should have students turning on teachers, this, and that. Kind of like in Naruto, or like how these ninjas would graduate and then they would go against the village. They would abandon the village, cross their heads out, cross the headbands out, whatever.
They're just wasting it.
Yeah.
They're kind of dilly-dallying, but...
Yeah. I know this is a lot to kind of pick away at My Hero for.
Yeah.
But...
it's just things we think will make it better.
There's... Exactly.
Because it's not necessarily a bad show either.
No.
It's just in terms of it being a classic and in terms of it going up against shows like Naruto or Hunter x Hunter that are, like,
Cold
top
classic.
tier shonens. This is what this show needs to be up there.
So, like, hopefully, maybe in the future, when Deku's an adult, this stuff starts happening where kids start turning against teachers, people start questioning. Like, the second All Might gets out the picture or something, students start think like, okay, I'm actually the shit. Like high school kids already are prideful or selfish, whatever means necessary, whatever you want to come up with, just to make the story more interesting, to hype it up.
Yeah.
Where like if this phase through guys, like, you know what, All Might's out the picture, I can do whatever the hell I want. Like almost, because not everyone in this hero association is gonna have this Deku mindset of, I'm gonna be nice to everyone, I'm gonna be the hero that saves everyone. Like it's just
there's no chance every single one of them are gonna go down the hero path. There's not a chance.
Yeah, and for how many lives All Might has saved, like specifically, like it doesn't make, like, it's cool that like he's inspired so many people in the hero association, that everyone looks up to him, this and that, but you don't want that when you're writing a story, because it kind of gets away at this point where your villains aren't as good.
Yeah, they're not what they need to be.
Exactly.
And they don't have an interesting backstory. They don't, because like even Garo, it's just like, I wanted, like, the villain always lost, so I was gonna be the villain. I was gonna be the monster. Even having someone like that,
or like even fine. Like a student being like, okay, All Might's the shit, but I want to be the guy that beats him.
Yeah. Like, just do, like, add something.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Again, we're just criticizing it a lot.
This is just more nitpicky things than anything. We're still gonna watch the show, season 4. We still like the show. It's just not where we want it yet.
Yeah. Like, these are the things that is wrong with it that hinder it from being a cult classic.
Yeah. And if you disagree, let us know. If you agree, let us know. Make sure you hit us up on all of our social medias.
Yeah. That was it from our argument.
I think that's about all I got.
Yeah.
I think that was... We kind of chunked it away a little bit. We kind of defiled my girl a little bit. But